Hello world, this is Lockpicking Dev. Today I have a review for the Apex Evo 3 from Covert Instruments. In front of me you see it mostly taken apart. I have this side, the rubber. It comes in separate pieces, the case does. It comes in the two hard pieces and two rubber pieces that go on each side of it. This side, I went ahead and left the rubber onto it. It was a little difficult to get on, as well as the Apex puck on the back of it there. What I wanted to do is show how to put it together because it is a little difficult to get these rubber pieces on. So I do enjoy the rubber pieces. That's what protects it, make it rugged. My first thing that I'm going to say is it is a little difficult to get these rubber pieces on. So I'm going to try with you on camera and show you how to do it because I had to do it myself and it was a little tough. So if you are someone that has trouble with hand strength, it might be a little bit more difficult. Here's where it gets difficult. So I have it mostly put together now. To get past this part, what I did to find it easy is I took a screwdriver. Make sure you get the other corner on first. Take a screwdriver, go up, and then lift it over this way. Don't worry about scratching the outer side here. That'll be covered up. Get it lined up and just slowly push it like that. There we go. There we go. And if it's a little bit off on the corners there, just pull it, or it's nice and snug, and there you go. So a little bit difficult to assemble at first, but that's because it is so tight and snug to make it nice and durable there. So after that, get this one on as well. The pieces go in there very nicely, so you can see that the magnets here, I'll zoom in over there actually. So you can see that the magnets are up here that hold it together, and the handles fit perfectly right there. Nothing else holds it there. These little slots right here hold the handles pretty perfectly, which is why that combined with the magnets, there's little movement and you don't need much more than that magnet right there to hold it in place. So if we go over here to our turning tools now, we do these typical double-ended ones right here, which I enjoy this. Actually, I know it's simple, it's just two magnets holding these right here, but these in my cases are often a real pain in the ass to hold, and I'll give a great demonstration for it. So here's my tool case, and you can see that I keep my double-ended turners right here in the middle of it because they don't fit in these side pockets in any weird spots that are always a little awkward in there. So I have to keep them in a weird spot in my cases. So I enjoy that. In this particular case right here, they can actually kind of move up and down, and they're still easily grabbable and not taking up the space of other stuff. Our typical top the keyway ones go right here. The order of thicknesses don't matter for any of these. They are fit to the size right there with the magnet to hold them in place. These go in there how they want. The top ones, though, are the ones that specifically go in there in a certain order, and they have it labeled 50, 40, and 32. The reason being is because these slots right here are the thickness of that tool to hold it perfectly in place. So if we do 32, the way to do it, and I'm going to zoom in for you to show you how it's done, you want to actually line up the corner here first with your tool, and then it'll slide in nicely. So looks like oh, there it goes. I was going to say, it looks like I dropped it. So if I line up the corner first, focus on the corner, the end will go in just nicely like that. And this part's not quite in, so what this part is a bend. So line it up and then bend it up a little bit to push it in there. So that little bend, when you're putting it in there, holds it in place. So again, line it up with the corner right there. Oops, sorry about that. Line up the corner, and then here we go, a little bit better. Line up the corner there and then bend it into place. And that was my fault right there. There we go. Then bend it into place. Same with the 50 thousandths right here. Line it up with the corner, stick it in, bend it into the place right there. So it fits nice and snug. I really enjoy how everything fits in here so nicely. So next is putting it fully together. So it is a little difficult to get fully together too, and actually to take it back apart into two pieces like this. Again, because it's a really nice fit together design. This is put together really well. So the first initial building of it will be a little bit more difficult. So this right here has a little slot on this side that takes in this flap right here. So you'll put that flap into that slot right there, and that's how that'll go together. So these will go like that. So we'll try to do that real quick. And again, here we are, we're just trying to put this flap right there. It's perfectly sized, so you have to get it about just right. I would say also don't be afraid to use your screwdriver again right here to push it through, because this is durable stuff. There we go. There we go. And you can see that it catches on the other side there. It's a perfect fit. And so there we go. There's it all put together. I'll zoom out just a little bit there. So you can see it's all put together. Here's how it closes. And just like Sandman noted, when it closes, you don't just push it together. It's a little bit of a move in and out, almost like a pocket knife. You push it in, and it closes together, push it in, pull it out. And that's because this little edge right here is snugged, gets snug into this right there. And I like that. That way it's not just press fit, because a lot of those press fit cases actually usually kind of pop apart when they fall. And this one, I have tested that already, and I will do drop test here shortly, and I'll get feedback on that as well. The case also, one thing, this is kind of a preference thing, depending on you and yourself and the situation you're in. I noticed how, I mentioned how hard it was to kind of take them apart and put it back together. And you can see if I let go of it, it just keeps itself shut. It does not stay open. So there's it on its edge. So that can be a good and bad thing. And from my experience specifically, I will tell you it's both a good and bad thing, specifically when I'm out picking on my hikes and doing on-site lockpicking. The bad thing is that it closes, and if I'm picking, I can't easily reach my stuff. However, I could argue that if I'm holding my turning tool up here still, I can do this with one hand, pop my new pick out, grab it, and go back to work. That is actually a mixture, so it depends on you in that moment. Holding it open while popping the picks open might be a little difficult, but the Apex system here, which is super nice to allow the picks to pop open like that, is really nice, because you're not going to be grabbing for another turner while you're already working. You're going to be grabbing for another pick. So if you have to hold this open and do that, you can knock one loose and get one out. So it's not too bad. So again, like I said, depends on your preference there. The good thing about it too, though, is from that same standpoint, when I'm out working, there are times when my normal roll pouches that you roll up and you keep your picks in. The example are these right here. These are pouches I normally use. These ones are super loose, and your picks will fall out of them. So the benefit of having this closed back after you're done is if stuff does fall out, something does happen, it's all going to be mostly in this case. You can see it's still, got a little stuff, area going over here. Oh, if it's tumbling down a mountain, what the hell ever, maybe something will fall out. But generally, your stuff's not tumbling down a mountain, and it's just nice to know that stuff isn't immediately falling out of your case right then and there if you accidentally kick it or something, because I've had that happen a lot. So that is a little bit mixture for me with the it staying open and closed like that. It is a very rugged and durable case, so I'm okay with it. Drop test 3 feet up, bottom edge. Maybe something came loose. Let's see. Oh, looks like there we go. Nothing came loose on the bottom edge there. So let's go ahead and just that one almost came loose. We'll just push it back together and let's try it. I'm gonna drop it on this edge now. So drop test opening side edge. Doesn't sound like anything came loose. There we go. Awesome. Nothing came loose there again. I'm just gonna re-push them in to make sure they're good. Let's do it on the flat side right here, and I'm not going to do it on the puck side because I'm not trying to break it. Let's do it on the flat side here. See, open it up. Nothing came out. I'm surprised. Let's try it again. I'm going to do it on the other flat side. There we go. So I have tested it before this, and that's what I was looking for. The one flat on the flat sides there, stuff actually does come out. But so let me get my words correct, stuff comes loose. Stuff does not come out. When this thing's closed, you notice I shake it each time. That extra shakiness is because it was already loose, not closing tight. But even when it's not closing tight like that, nothing's coming out of this. And that to me is a pretty big deal. Because there's several times I've dropped stuff on hikes where stuff comes out. So you can see, even dropping this thing, I'm dropping it about 3 feet up in the air. Dropping it on the edges here doesn't really knock stuff loose. You have to drop it perfectly on its flat edges here to knock stuff loose. Even if you knock stuff loose though, your stuff's not falling out, it's not getting bent, and it's not getting broken. So this case is pretty damn awesome. I like this. This is pretty cool. Picks themselves, I really like how the, just mentioned, how you can pop them out like this. I like that's really cool. When I first opened it, I was like, okay, how the hell do I get the picks out? I'm really confused. And I started putting my finger through the back button area right there, because it's like I saw in the videos, they just popped them right out. And this is it right here. Push them on the hole, they pop right out. I like that a lot. That is really cool because it's easy to grab them. For one, it's really cool. It's a fidget thing. I can sit here and have fun like that. Don't hate me for that. I know it's probably annoying the hell out of some of you, but it's really fun. And then it's nice and snug. It holds them really nice in there. For the turning tools, I really like that they've made the case accept every type of turning tool in here. They got these double-ended ones, they got the top of the keyway double-ended ones, and they have the ergo turners as well. I think that's awesome, and how they made it all fit in here perfectly to hold them snug. Just amazing, phenomenal, awesome, great job. I'm not going to talk any more about those because they're turning tools. You have all the types you need right there. Let's move on with life. All right, our picks now. Our picks, I did buy the Evo 3, and so I bought the Evo 3 because I like having hooks. I didn't find personally use for much of the other ones. I almost bought the everyday carry set, but I have enough rakes to be honest, so I didn't want my first set to include rakes in it, so I bought the Evo 3. I bought the 20,000s, so they are all 20,000s, just like the Echelon set. I do like the pick profiles quite a bit in this set, including this far right one right here. It's one of my favorite profiles. I actually do not like the flat profile of these though. That's just my personal preference and opinion. You can see how it's flat on the end there. I like the ball a little bit more. These flat ones, I find that on the end of them, on the end of the flat, if I can get it to focus here. There we go. I find that these flat picks, including the diamond, which is kind of shaped on the top, have a little bit extra metal on the end, and I find that those hit other pins behind or cause you to hit the pins before, so I don't like the little extra metal on there, and that's just my criticism of this profile specifically. Otherwise, I do really, really love that profile. So I was happy to get that profile in a real handle because I do not believe Jimmy offers that profile, and so to have a manufacturer with a good handle with that profile is something that I really like. The pick profiles otherwise are good. In general, you have the typical type of same echelon reach type, this sort of, it's like almost like a Euro hook McTickler. It's like a really, it doesn't have the bump of the McTickler, but it's like a really thin Euro hook, so it gets underneath those pins really well there. So that's for like European locks, really shallow pins. I actually really like this profile. I'm excited to use it. You have your typical gym style right there. You have your deep one, and I also like that they chose the deep hook right here with the, or is this the, I think this might be a medium hook with the divot in it right there. I forget what, the specific word right there, but it's just like a medium hook, except that it has the little extra spot right there to give you extra reach there. So if you look at a medium hook compared side by side right there, I think this actually might be a medium. It's something I've confused myself on a while. Yeah, I think it might be a medium hook with that extra little space right there, and I really love this profile. That is one of my favorite profiles. It just gets into everything. And then of course this really long one right here. So great profiles. The finish on them around the the shaft right here is really nice. There isn't a lot of blemish at all. In fact, I would say there's almost none. It looks like it's got a very nice finish. Oh, sorry about that. Here we go. Looks like it has a very nice finish on the picks overall, so it looks really well in that sense. The picks 20,000s. The other measurement I did, I'm a handle person. In the past, I measured all the thicknesses of all the handles out there. And this particular handle, the thickness is just a little bit less than Jimmy Long's. So Jimmy Long's was about, I think, 0.19 or something like that. And he said that was about right. This is about 0.18, I believe, is what it was. I'm not sure if I had that written down. Yeah, I think it's about 1 or something. Let me see. Do I have my calipers right here? So 0. Yeah, there we go. About 0.18. And I think Jimmy Long's was about, there we go, about 0.19. So yeah, I really like the thickness of these. These feel great. Another thing I like about the handles, and it fits in my, obviously fits in the pouches really nice, and it fits in the holes of my lockpick stand really nice. The Jimmy Long's ones there, just a little bit wider right there, so they kind of sit at the top of my pick stand, which isn't too bad. But these fit nicely in there. So I'm looking forward to get more of these for my pick stand. The criticism, I actually do have a criticism about these, and I was really interested about that, is they are longer. These picks are longer than most picks out there, and that is something that in the past I have found to actually impact the lifespan of the pick. So what I mean by that is the length going this way. So if I take these out, I'll actually compare side by side. We'll start with the echelon. So this is both of the same profiles. We'll zoom in here and do this for a better black background. There we go. These are both the same profiles, but if we line up their handles right there, you can see that the apex is longer. And the apex is actually 3.5 millimeters longer than the echelon. And the way I did that is I just kind of lined them up, put the shorter one behind, like that, and then I put my ruler like that. Let's see, it's just about 3.5 there. And I did that with other. Alright, I have a lot of pick manufacturers lined up right here. They're not quite perfect, but what I tried doing is lining them all up with the tip of their handles there, to get them all relatively, that way you can see the length of the pick's ends of themselves. You can see that the apex is longer than all of them. The apex is 3 millimeters longer than the echelon, and that Covert Instruments already makes, and 3 millimeters longer than the multi-pick, is 1.5 millimeters longer than Jimmy's, Southords, and Sparrows. And the reason why that's important to me, I want to point that out, is as a pick maker previously, I've tried making a pick like this, like rat yolks. And what I did was, it's actually in my display over there, it's a little bit longer than this, kind of like the long lock picks here. This one is lasting, but my last one was a little bit too long. And what that did was it created more flex in the pick going side to side, because there's a little bit more metal out there when you add that little extra pressure on it, especially if you're adding hard picking pressure when you're pushing up like that. It tends to flex side to side a little bit more that way. And every once in a while, what happened with that last pick I did, and it has happened with one other one I made too, when I pushed up hard, it slipped and flexed really hard and just bent it. So I am curious about the length of the blade of the picks here and how that's going to affect that, because it is definitely longer than the rest of them. And it doesn't matter if that little metal right here is showing right here, like that's a little thicker metal there. Yeah, that's good for it going, the bend going up and down this way, but not side to side this way. The extra length affects the movement going like this. So I'm curious how that's going to affect the life of the handle, or the life of the pick, or at all. Otherwise, that is my only criticism of the pick so far, is the length of them. Otherwise, this thing is great. The handles feel great. The profiles are great. I love that the shafts of the handles aren't too thick. There are some picks that you'll get where they're too thick, and I really don't like that. Here's a great example right here from Lockpick Pros. It is a little too thick for me. You can see the thickness is 20,000. The width of the shaft, I guess, is what I'm saying here. So I do like the width of the shaft. So yeah, the length here is something to note. that is feedback there. Take that as you will. However, these picks are absolutely gorgeous. I love them. They're beautiful. The handles feel good. They're a great thickness. I like that I had the 20 thousandths option. Let's see, compare the length. Let's see, compare the length. About the same length of Jimmy's, which is about a perfectly good length. Let's see. That makes the handle. Yeah. So the handle itself is about just a little bit short, about 3 1/4, about between 3 1/2, 3 3/8 of an inch long. That's about perfect. When I make my own custom lockpick handles, I make them about 3.5 inches long myself. So that's super nice. I do really like that. All right, so you can see that the Apex case is really strong, really tough, and it's a rugged little case. I really like it. I'm glad I spent the 90 bucks on it even. I like having a case where all my turning tools are together at once and where my picks are held nicely in place. I like it specifically as a hiker. I've taken, if you watch my videos, my previous ones, I've done over 100 videos of picking locks and hikes. And this is something I'm going to carry with me now, because on my hikes, the other cases all have a little bit of bend to them in some sense. I know for a fact now, if I drop this, my stuff isn't going to get lost on a hike. It's not going to fall out the top. It's not going to be loose. It's going to be nice, closed. If I drop it, anything comes loose, it's going to stay inside of here, and it's going to be safe. None of my stuff is going to get broken, and I'm not going to lose it. So that's very important to me. I love that. I like how tough it is. It was thought through very well. Everything fits in here very nicely. You can see the thought put into it. My hope is, in the future, I'm hoping that Covert Instruments releases single picks, because I would like to have a full set of my own picks that I like in here specifically. This Evo 3 set specifically is actually a really, really good set for me. I like these hooks. It would still be nice to be able to replace it with other hooks that I like in the future. So I'm going to go with Sandman there and agree with that. Hopefully in the future, and they most likely will in their Chop Drop or something, release some single picks for us all to buy. Otherwise, this case is really nice, and the Apex system overall is pretty cool. I like how, kind of like they say, adaptable it is. If you want to change your stuff out, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I like how it is a very bring it with you on the go. If you have your picks in here, this isn't going to break. This is a nice, strong case for someone out doing work. Again, I'm hoping they do sell picks separately. That way I can buy more of these to stick in my lockpick stand, so I can have some next to where I sit down and pick every day. Because I'd honestly rather prefer not to have to pull out this case and leave it open every time I'm trying to pick, just sitting at my couch. So yeah, there is the Apex Evo 3. Really cool, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. We finally have another manufacturer with some good handles, so I'm going to shut up about those now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.